bike racing event held in Malaysia every year since 1996. Tour De Langkawi is the idea of the fourth Prime Minister of Malaysia, Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. It is also joined by participants from abroad such as France, Italy, Switzerland, Australia, and many more. Tour De Langkawi is sponsored by Petronas and organized by Human Voyage.
First people, example Bariani CSF rider Nicola Rufani was involved in an accident while heading to the finish line in the second stage. Second, environment, example extremely hot weather condition will cause hydration to the participant, and also heavy rain will cause the road slippery. Third, finance, example LTDN shot about RM225,000 to organize the 2016 race. First, speculative risk. Second, absolute risk. For the speculative risk, the possibility of loss and possibility of gain. The 2007 tour was almost cancelled because first cartel owned due to failure to pay prize money, on to TV broadcasting, and failing to pay the winner. Regardless, the company and the government is helping to ease the debt to allow the tour to continue. Next, absolute risk, the possibility of loss and no possibility of gain. The event co-organized by the Ministry and the Malaysian National Cycling Federation and MNCF with private sponsorship, merely covering minutes fraction of the cost. The previous Sport Minister Khairi Jamaluddin ordered an internal audit into LTDL account in 2014 and discovered mismanagement of fund channel to an MNCF, resulting in the body suspension. That's all for me. Thank you.
First risk factor is the communications. Limited communication and insufficient communications. In 2010, the power of analogy radio signals awakened over a long distance, and the interference generated will produce static noise and buzzing that become apparent when radio distance and audio clarity often deteriorates, interfering the communications and coordination during race. Other than in 2004, the police had allowed civilian whistle onto the cause by the mistake. Next, the risk factor are the complaint indicate cooperation with authorities and the traffic congestions. The local resident Yisan Son was among those caught on the gridlock in Kuala Terengganu and urged the cycling event organizer, which is the lead Tour De Langkawi, and the local authorities to create awareness among the public and the road users for the future event. There are no public alerts, road signs, or the announcement on the event, which is the big thing and the effect for road user. While for the local motorists, those who are familiar with the surroundings somehow manage to weave their way around the city. Tourists and visitors, however, had the headache finding their destinations.
Accident involving the Tour De Langkawi participants and not using immediate action can cause more accidents. Next, injuries among participants involved in accident while the event is in progress. Accidents among the participants that could injure the audience present to witness the event. Hydration occurs among participants due to leaks of water supply. Next, lack of first aid personnel during the ongoing event. Second, environment. This was heavy rain during the event, causing a risk to the participant visual distance. Next, extremely hot weather condition will cause hydrations among the participants. Road condition will, with different terrain shapes, further increase the challenge and risk of participants. Interference from passing passing animals such as dogs and cats during the event will result in accidents among the participants. There are no signboards that indicate the distance and proximity to hazards such as sharp bends. Third, infrastructure. Poorly functioning sound system and microphone result in information not being covered clearly. Next, lack of water supply to flood the participants when the event are overcast. Hydrations among the participants. Lots of rubbish scattered in the event area due to the lack of garbage bins can pollute the environment and cause the presence of rats and dogs. Inefficient traffic management causes congestion among the audience present to witness the Tour De Langkawi. Next, insufficient parking area cause spectators to double parking. That's all. Thank you.
The attitude of parents that overexcited during tournament can make their being careless, so maybe can make their lost their child. Wait for friends or family at the interest or the easy can make one of them or make someone else will miss the competitions. This is because it can block the way. Actually, the audience do not comply with the ban to stay away from the match. In fact, they will be try to get closer to the match. So, there is a high probability of accidents happen, and there will probably be arguments between the audience. In any event, the venue is the most important source for the success of the events. The place needs to be safe and properly organized perfectly. This is a way to avoid causing unwanted inconveniences such as traffic congestions. Mostly, this happens when the organizer does not provide enough parking space for the audience and does not place clear signage for the audience to move. In addition, the organizer needs to separate the pedestrian space from the vehicle so that no accident will be happen. Reading route should be emphasized by installing light or sound in order to signal to participants to help them make decisions safely. The organizer needs to choose the suitable time. The organizer needs to identify at the time when other events be held. This so that there is no reduction of participants or audience at the events. Time and weather are inseparable. This may be due to a storm that will cause the participant flight delay or delivery of consistent equipment not to arrive on time.
For the financial risk is any various type of risk associated with financing. For the final risk of Tour De Langkawi in 2006, they having problem to do this event because they have financial issues. The organizers said that they have debt during the event before this because they don't have enough sponsorship. Because of lack of sponsorship too, they have to find way to make sure the event lead to a De Langkawi succeeds like that. Second, in 2020, they having problem to make the payment to the winner because of in 2020 we have challenge faced during the MCO and COVID-19. That's why late payment issues happen. The second one is human resource. Human resource organizer lead to a De Langkawi having problem not enough staff and volunteer to help them to handle this event. In this case, they need more volunteer, especially from local people, because this event happens around 7 days and the location also around places in Malaysia. Besides, they have their own staff, but the problem is a few of
Their staff is new staff, and because of that, they lack of information and also experience to handle this big event. The last one is event planning. For the event planning, Tour De Langkawi organizer fails to bring world tour cycling teams. Tour De Langkawi organizer Human Voyage Sendian Berhad has once again failed to fulfill its promise to bring 8 teams with the World Tour status in conjunction with the event Silver Jubilee celebration.
Operation, which is about occupational health and safety. The risk of getting injured in Tour De Langkawi event is very high as it involves a wide and risky area, such as on the road. For example, from Kuala Terengganu to Kerteh, in the extent of 175 kilometers, one participant, if I'm not mistaken, his name is Aiman, failed to finish the competition at the podium when he was involved in an accident in the last 3 kilometers before the finish line at Persearan Guntung. So he's suffering minor injuries in a crash within 3 kilometers of the Another accident that occurred in this event is in stage 9 from Kemasik to Kuala Terengganu in year 2012. If you look at this picture, you can see some of participants falling while racing due to slippery road. So weather is one of the main factors in the occurrence of this matter. So the next element under the operation is equipment. So basically, I'm sure you all know what equipment is used in this event Tour De Langkawi. Of course, it is bike, right? So this event is not only take place in Langkawi, even though its name is Tour De Langkawi, but it is also one to do in Sabah and Sarawak. But unfortunately, because of poor cargo service, led several teams to face long delays in getting equipment and even riders. So it forced the organizer to cancel the second stage of the tour. The third element under the operation is logistic. So it is quite difficult to bring a large number of bicycles, especially to Sabah and Sarawak. This event involved the same contractor for Tour De Langkawi and also the same contractor for Tour de Iskandar Johor, TDIJ. So this is the difficulties because of logistical constraint faced by the escort and also security police squad because Sabah, Sarawak and Johor is a long journey.